Hello everyone, I'm Steve. Mark's out shopping, and this is Smokey Steve and Mark. Welcome or welcome back. It is the weekend, so we know what that means. This is more of like a cafe au lait of almond milk and coffee, because it's later in the day and I won't be all jacked up. It's pretty good, I have to say. So happy Saturday. Today we are going to revisit our fair lady, Chantal Marie, Foodie Beauty, Big Beautiful Me, and now the Daily Chantal. So, question, what the F are we going to talk about since she didn't put out any footage this week? Few community posts about what's coming up, and that's about it. I thought we'd take a step back, just a little step back, and have what might be a little more of a thoughtful discussion. I've been following Chantal. I've looked back at my thing. Maybe it's been a while that I've been doing coffee talks, weekly check-ins with her. And I've followed her from grape lemon fasts to the introduction of pizza on camera, dumpster diving, water fast smoothie challenges, all sorts of different stuff. And throughout this, process, aside from mostly following her weight loss journey, which kind of comes and goes, and that long period of mukbangs that came up recently, one of the reasons I follow Chantal, and I'd said this a lot when I first started, was that I see her, I see me. I see a lot of similarities between Chantal and I. I know, on the surface, maybe not so much. Or maybe you see a ton of them. Or maybe you think less of me for bringing it up. I'm not sure. But I took some notes, and there's a lot that we don't have in common. And that's a good thing. We have some very stark differences. Again, that's a good thing. But we do have some core things in common. And that I think. I don't know if she would agree with that. So I wanted to run some of those down and kind of reiterate the fact that, on some level I do pull for Chantal, especially with her weight loss stuff and trying to get her mind together. And, well, let me just start in with some of the things that are different. Obviously, I'm a man. Chantal's a woman. I'm about an average weight. She's obese. I'm not sure what the cutoff is for morbidly obese, but she's big. I'm an American. Of course, she lives in Canada. I'm able to make some healthy decisions long term. Now, I still got my vices, it's SmokeySteveAndMarc. But as far as weight loss, I've been able to more or less maintain the weight that I've lost over, at this point, a year and maybe a few months, with a little bit of gain, and now Mark and I are tweaking ours. She has a hard time doing that for whatever reason. She'll go on a weight loss journey for a couple days. I think she did keto, at least on camera, for 20-some before that dropped off. So she has a harder time with commitment. So there's a difference. We don't make a big to-do about it on this channel, but we've been filming daily for quite a while. I honestly don't know how long we've been doing daily videos. Originally, there wasn't daily videos when the channel started, and it was just me and not Mark. But we do film daily. Chantal will make the promise to film daily and then not be able to do it. I mean, there was the 365-day weight loss challenge. 2 days? Was it even 2 days? So, Mark said this about me, so I'm not saying anything about myself here out of my own mouth. Mark had said, when we were discussing differences, that we try to maintain a level of dignity, maybe self-respect on some level. Obviously, you crack a dirty joke or you swear a little bit. Maybe it doesn't reflect so well on your character, but by and large, try to keep it, respectable as much as you can for YouTube. Square that with Chantal farting on camera. Maybe doing things kind of outlandishly just for views. And I would say there's some differences in the way that we conduct ourselves on YouTube. So we're not the same. Leaving comments. We leave comments up on our channel. The only time I take a comment down is if it has a URL embedded into it. It usually gets flagged by YouTube anyway for that, but I don't know what links to what where, and I don't click on random links, usually. Especially because they usually come from people who I don't know that don't comment regularly. So I'll take a comment down that way. But otherwise, good, bad, you think I'm a piece of garbage, you love what we did the video on, I just leave it up and let people discuss if they want to. Chantal edits her comments a lot. She also takes down videos, or makes them private and then unprivate. Recently, she had put out her weight loss videos again, and made them public when she was restarting her weight loss journey. The only thing that she's never taken down, which people had recommended a few times or suggested, were the mukbangs. And they're moneymakers, so I can appreciate from a business standpoint leaving those up. She said some people like the story times. We'll go with that, too. So there is some differences in the way that we manage our channels. You know, yeah. Let's see. Try to make an effort to stick to our word. If we say we're going to show X, Y, or Z content, that's the content you're going to see. You're going to see that, you know, if we say we're going to do coffee talk, today's coffee talk. It's my responsibility to find something to share with you on a Saturday afternoon. Because if there wasn't going to be coffee talk, you should have got a little heads up there wasn't going to be, or there was nothing to talk about today. If we say we're going to go live, we're going live. If I'm going to do weigh-ins on every Wednesday, then you're going to get a weigh-in. And if you're not, you're going to get an explanation for why there's not a weigh-in or why we're not going to do them. You know, I think there's a little more, try to keep a level of respect with the people that are giving you the time of watching your videos. I think she tries to dictate who the audience is. Saying to people, oh, if you don't like it, don't watch. I'll let anybody watch. I don't. Well, first of all, I have no control over who watches, but there's an acceptance of that I think we have. We don't have any say over who's going to come to our channel and watch, or why they're going to watch. They could be hate watching. They could be interested in what we're talking about. They could just think we're eye candy. Any number of reasons people may watch. But for me to say, if you don't like it, don't watch. First of all, does that need to be said? If someone doesn't like it, of course they don't have to watch. But they might like something about watching. They might get off on making fun of the person in the video. I mean, we're not all, you know, great people. Not everybody is eyebrow. I hate watch channels. I'm no perfect person. I don't know about hate watch, but sometimes people make content that they feel is done very seriously and I think is funny. That's kind of how it goes sometimes. Let's see. So we do have some stark differences, as you can see. Quite a few. So why am I Foodie Beauty? Why are we the same in some ways? Well, food issues. Tie me in with Foodie Beauty when we have food issues. Now, there's a few ways that I've narrowed down that you could describe her food issues. You could frame it as disordered eating, you know, on the mental health side of things. Food addiction, which, again, is sort of a mental health thing, sort of not. Or that she's just a glutton. And she likes to feel good, and she can't get enough of a good thing, and that she has no boundaries, no morals, no value, all that stuff with it. So one of those three things, there could be plenty of others, this is just my take on it, is going on. Whatever the reason, it's resulted in her being obese. Rather obese. I've been obese before too. My highest weight, I'm 6 feet tall, and my highest weight as an adult was in the 290s. I was getting close to 300. Now, mind you, Chantal's weight, just for a sidebar difference, Chantal currently weighs 360 at her last weigh-in, so she's almost 200 pounds heavier than I am, and I'm 10 inches taller than her. So just for that difference. But I relate to having the food issues, definitely, and having a bad relationship with food, and having a private relationship with food. I remember she mentioned one time that BB had found empty pizza boxes stashed in the closet. That betrays to me some serious eating issue, assuming it was true. We all know that Chantal plays fast and loose with the truth sometimes, and sometimes she gets caught and then changes the name of her channel. But that's real. I mean, whether it happened to her or not, that's a real symptom of something going on with food. More or less with yourself, and you're coping with it with food. I used to do something very similar. My mom said I used to sneak eat when I was a kid. She'd find plates under the sink in the bathroom. You know, that's the private, shameful part of her relationship with food. Now, capitalizing off of it with mukbangs is something I don't relate to. You know, flaunting a personal issue and trying to literally capitalize off of it is not something that resonates with me exactly. But the private parts of it, I do connect with. There's nothing celebratory about sitting in your bedroom alone eating a whole pizza. You know. Another point. Chantal to my eye, enjoys getting attention for being sick. She seems specifically for being physically sick, maybe a little mentally ill too. And she kind of gets off on it. I think it makes her feel special. It creates it tries to manipulate people into feeling kindly towards you, or you think it'll take the heat off of you, or people won't treat you as poorly because, oh, poor me, I'm ill. I used to do that, okay? And I also think she's a little bit of a hypochondriac. And I totally have moments of being a hypochondriac. You know, I get my knee hurts and I think I need it amputated. My stomach hurts. I think I have cancer. Like, so I can relate when she's sitting there and she'll say my eye hurts. I have an eye doctor's appointment. How about I got soap in my eye? How about it was something simple? But I can blow it totally out of proportion. So whatever part of the mind does that for her, mine does it too. Difference being, I know I'm being silly and I can try to rein it in now, but I don't know that she's quite there yet. Because if you stack all her medical problems together, she should probably be on life support if all of them were really happening. It's the effort to have people feel sorry for you. One of the ways that I used to feel that when I was trying to get well, because I have a mental health issue, a long-standing one. You gotta be careful what you say anymore. YouTube gets upset if you use like certain language. But I had been hospitalized about 5 times in a psychiatric unit of the community hospital. And during those times, I do remember liking the attention I was getting for being sick. I would go in, and mind you, I was quite ill at the time, so put it in context, but nevertheless, put on my scrubs, get up, go to the med window and get my, for the day, and then go to a craft class and, I don't know, make coasters out of styrofoam cups or something like that. And they'd be very proud of you and clap for you and hug you if you did the stupidest little thing. Those things are hard when you're just getting well. I don't mean to say stupid, but the simplest little thing. And I would get spoiled by that. I would seek that kind of approval. And I was like, all I have to do is very little things and people will be so proud of me and they'll pat me on the head. Drug and alcohol treatment would do the same thing to me too. All you have to do is be a little brave and say something and people clap you and they hug for you and you get a special kind of attention and recognition for being not well. So I can see getting hooked on that kind of stuff. And I think she practices that to some degree now. Now, I don't do it currently, but I have done it. So, you can kind of sniff it out if you're, if you've done it yourself, you know what to look for. I probably should be a little more, I don't know, what's the word? Conservative in what I'm sharing, because a lot of this stuff isn't flattering to me, but it is what it is. This isn't my life now, but it certainly has been at different points. Moody Beauty. She has sought help in the past, according to her videos, for mental health treatment. She's taken medication to help manage her weight and her mood before. I also do that. So I can appreciate that. That means that she has been to a psychiatrist and it's been off and on, and she was in some mental health facilities in her youth, which she had shared. I believe that she was in a group home type setting. And that'll go into the next point that I have too. She would beg for help. This goes into, I think, the best example of begging for help and then refusing it, which I've done on 1,000 false starts. The best example of hers I can think is she put out a video one night. She had binged, and I think she binged herself into like such a depressed state that she went to the psyche merge. And she went there and she got fast-tracked into the eating disorder program because she had gone through the emergency department. And that's what she had wanted. So they set her up with the eating disorder psychiatrist, and he gave her a meal plan, and she was able to get in for all the other components that were supposed to go with it. Outpatient, because, she was dealing with a different issue than the others. And she got all gung-ho and got into it and then started to find faults with it quickly. And I didn't like this, and the medicine makes me feel like this, and this diet, I was going to tweak it to be more like keto, and this and that. So the idea of begging for help and then finding fault with it and refusing it right after. I used to drink a little. More than a little. And a lot of times I would, frankly, like run out of booze, or people would be pissed off at me for something I did when I was drinking. And ducking into the hospital, the emergency department, kind of throws out a smoke bomb and you can disappear stage left. And then you come back out with a plan and you get everyone excited because this is the time, it's going to be the time. You might go to the hospital begging, crying, drunk, because I'd be all emotional about what's going on and be like, I need to get into rehab, I need to change my life. And I would sit in the ER for 6 hours. Well, my buzz would wear off, and the first thing I would think of is, not rehab, I want another drink. So I'd go in begging for the help, and then when they finally set it up for me, I'd go, nah, thanks, I'm good. It's a much ado about nothing. I don't know why you're even bothering trying to help me. I just told you I don't need it. When 6 hours ago I was ready to take a bridge because I thought I couldn't get it. A similar thing that Chantal does when it comes to asking for help or complaining about help not being there. She took issue with the fact that because she's a larger person with a different eating issue, overeating, binge eating, that certain help wasn't available to her. Almost her stab at advocacy for the issue. I would also complain, especially about food issues, because I'm a guy. It was difficult to find like inpatient treatment. It was difficult for me to find even outpatient treatment to discuss the issue. A lot of the groups were women only because they had issues with men being participating, and I can completely appreciate that, but I was spitting up blood. So I get that, saying, well, I can't get well because of this, and I can't get well because there's no help, and I can't, I won't. There's a thing in the 12-step circles. I used to go to AA meetings a lot. I don't go anymore. They were a great help, though, at the start of my recovery. They call terminally unique. I was dying from being terminally unique. There was something so specifically wrong with me that any of your solutions that might help me get better aren't going to help me get better. They're not a right fit for me. I'm special. I'm different. There's something different about me that I can't go on keto. I'm not going to lose weight on keto. I can't do reduced calories. I'm not going to lose weight doing that. I'm talking in terms of food when we're talking about addiction because that's, if that's one of the ways that you want to interpret Chantal's behavior, that would be the way she's kind of going about it. I can't do this. I can't do this diet. I can't do this exercise. I won't. The excuses that go with addiction, I see mirrored with my own. The idea of like, I'll start tomorrow. It's going to be different this time. Again, the begging for help and then turning it away. Planning and no follow through. No one makes a plan like Chantal. Chantal should be in the business of creating life plans for other people. People who are able to stick with the follow through. I make a great plan too. The one time I did start actually getting better is when I followed through with the damn plan. Who would have known? But she makes an incredible plan. I make a good plan. When I was starting to get better, I have a mood disorder. I had mood charts and anxiety checklists and coping skills and all this stuff. And the time I actually took all that seriously, I started getting better. Chantal will have lists and notebooks and journals and all sorts of stuff. So I can appreciate good intentions, but then again, falling off the wagon. So I had done that many times too. The only way out, again, another cliche, is through, though. So I hope she gets through. So what was the point of all this? There was no videos, there was no footage. Why am I even talking about her? I see her, I see me. For all the reasons I had just listed. And it's none of the flattering stuff. It's one of the reasons Chantal kind of bothers me, in a way. Not her as a person. I mean, she's a person I follow on YouTube. She probably doesn't know I exist, and she's just... I wouldn't say she's living her best life, but she's living. But all the things about her that are unflattering, which is the similarities pretty much I listed, they stick with me. I feel a level of... She wants people to feel sorry for her. I get that. But because I've lived and done some of the things she does, which have set her back, I don't say I feel sorry for her exactly, but I can empathize a little bit. I know that no matter what she's doing during those mukbangs, somewhere in the back of her head, she feels like garbage, probably. I don't think she's that much of a narcissist. So, I don't know. Like I said, there's some similarities there. It's also one of the reasons that every time she starts a new diet plan, I'm one of the only morons who has any little bit of encouragement, I think, for her. It took me like 1,000 tries to try to get my shit together. And eventually, if you want to call this having my shit together, I have my shit together. If she needs 10,000, 10,001, I didn't expect anyone to have hope that I was going to get better because it didn't look like I was going to. So I didn't expect people to rally behind me and be like, yes, this time's going to be the time, because they were so burnt out. Because why weren't the first 999 times the time? I couldn't tell you why myself. This was just a good intersection of I was willing to do something, the right help was available, and I was a little bit interested in getting well. Those three things came together and I started getting better. I think that could happen for her. I've seen sicker people than Chantal get better, whether it's from weight, mental health, addiction, all of it. So I do think she has hope. I don't think she's beyond help. So that's why I continue to watch. And when she does try to turn a new leaf with a weight loss journey, I'm not a cheerleader. I'm aware that she's more than likely going to quit in a couple days. But I still hold out a little hope. And I hold out hope for her because there was at least one or two people who probably still held out hope for me when I was looking pretty hopeless. So that's why I am Foodie Beauty. I am Foodie Beauty. So thank you all for watching. Please do subscribe. Hit the like button. You can follow Mark and I on Facebook at SmokeySteveAndMarc or on Instagram at SmokeySteveAndMarc. Our email address and contact info is all listed below. Thank you all for watching, and Mark and I will catch up with y'all tomorrow. Happy Saturday. Bye.